What's up, dudes, dudettes? We'll change of pace today. Right here, though, show you guys my bees at the feeder. It is supposed to be about 75 today, so they're gonna hammer these open feeders. Anyways, today it's so nice that the ground's finally thawed out. I finally got a chance to work on my garden. I've already done a little bit of work, hour or two maybe. The plan, I'll show you guys. So this is a row of fig trees that I started last year from cuttings like these, and some 1.5 gallon pots. I kept them inside with grow lights on them all winter last year, and look at what they did in a year. They made fruit. That's what all these are, is just dried up figs. But since it was their first season, that's what a dried up fig looks like. Since it was their first season, though, I didn't want to cut any of the canes off because it'd stun them on this season. And their fruit last year I got a handful of edible figs last year, but by the time they made the figs, it was starting to get kind of cool, like mid-October maybe. So this year they ought to make fruit earlier. That's what I'm hoping anyway. And then there's a row of raspberries, another row of raspberries. Just give me a small garden tour here, folks. And then blueberries, a couple of odds and ends, Saskatoon berries, those honey berries, kind of trying them out a little bit. And then I've got more blueberries in this row here. As you can see, I'm putting down some fabric. The plan, that's my small garden there. I'm gonna get everything covered, put a brick border along here. I've got some bricks that I've been saving. They're over there on that pallet. And then fill it with mulch. This part will just be, mulch. And then I have some granite that I saved from a countertop. I think I'm gonna put my fire pit, that guy right there, over here on top of the granite countertop pieces that I've saved after I mulch it. Already got some brick down. I would have finished that fabric up over there, but ran out of fabric. See if I can unbury these pieces of granite and show you guys. They're just pieces. It's not like a full slab or whatever off the countertop, but there are some decent pieces. Just something to be kind of decorative looking. A little bit of a yard feature done with it. There's a small piece, obviously. I've already had these on the ground for a while, but it's a pretty good looking vein of granite, the coloration of it. So that's the plan. And then this is my row of blackberries, thornless, by the way. I'm gonna stick them right over there on the other side of the fig row. And then I made a whole bunch more. I made a how to propagate figs, kind of a simple video, how to do that a month or two ago. But I'm gonna go figs, blackberries, figs, and then whatever's left of the big garden is my plan anyway. We're gonna play it by ear. Depends how much free time I have, quote unquote free time. That's the plan. So whew, let's get after it. You're not gonna talk to me? Turkey! Well, you're no fun right now. Usually he hollers back at me. Dadgum. Really wish I could get my phone to work properly here. I have to cut a hole in the end of my glove to work it. Show you guys these bricks here. Here's your standard brick. It's got holes in it to hold mortar better. However, since I have already used these, most of them have dirt in them, and I don't want that dirt in there because it has seed in it and it already has plants growing out of it. Mind you, these bricks have been stacked up, gosh, for almost a year, I'd say. So what I'm doing, sticking the finger in it, poking the dirt out. Simple. And just like that, those are cleaned out. Let's go put them down. Give you guys a little closer view of what I'm doing here. I'm barely, hang on, here we go. Barely going over the fabric, maybe a half inch, quarter inch most times, so I'm not lapping over it very much. I've got this fabric pegged down with these galvanized spikes. I think they're about 5-6 inches long, 1.5 inches wide. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not using any tape measures or strings or nothing like that. This isn't going to be a botanical gardens demonstration from Dallas, Texas or something like that. Just my backyard, y'all. I think I've got about 60 more of these bricks with holes in them. I'm only going to need, gosh, I don't know, right over there. Zoom out a little bit. There we go. Right over there, between that raised bed and the garden, I think I'm going to take fabric all the way out that direction. But I'm only going to need 15 or 20 probably over there. Can't decide what I'm going to do with all these. I've got a whole lot more without holes in them as well than I do with holes in them. I'm going to put the ones without the holes in them on top of these bricks just to finish them off and to hold the mulch into these areas that I am putting the fabric on. Possibilities are limitless, people. Once you start gardening, it's crazy. Come up with all kinds of ideas. Main thing is just having the time to manifest those ideas into your reality. Golly. This is my pile of bricks. A week ago, they were covered in snow and ice. Now it's 75 degrees in a week. Which is why I'm doing this today. I want to get all these areas I've been covering up with fabric. I have Bermuda growing, and I'm really hoping that I can choke it out before it tries to start growing. That stuff is just relentless. And I don't want to spray it. I hate glyphosate. I really don't like using chemicals, period, but glyphosate and a garden don't mix. Alright, let's load some more bricks up. Finish these two borders off. Let's see how far that gets us. I still got a pretty good pile left, so I may have more bricks than I know what to do with here. So down here where my fabric intersects my raised bed by the chicken run, I left the first couple bricks back so I can, whenever I get more fabric, I can take it and make a good lap there to keep things choked out. Well, that took up most of what I loaded up. I have to get a few more in here to do that other side real quick. Loaded for bear again. Got a dilemma here. Can't decide what I want to do. Still got this big old pile of bricks. Luckily I didn't see any spiders in there yet since it's still winter, I guess, but I can guarantee you this, I was looking for Black Widows every single time I grabbed something, because they love this kind of stuff, rocks and wood piles and things like that. However, the plan was to like run out of bricks, I guess. Let's go over here and look at something. So I've got a pile of old lumber that I saved. It's been back here for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years now, but can't really see it that great because the weeds took it over. But there's a decent amount of old lumber right there. And I was gonna take it, show you guys. I was gonna take it and go along the edge of the small garden over there with that wood, and then along the edge of this as well, just to, you know, give the fabric some, I'll put some staples in it to hold it down, but I want some weight on top of that as well. Now I have all these bricks left, but I don't think, I might have enough bricks to do everything I was going to do with the wood. I think I will still take, like on the ends of these rows here in the big garden, I'm going to take the fabric and lap it over once I roll out this section here, and after I get some more, obviously. But can't decide what to do with what I got. I reckon the thing to do here is to go through the lumber and see how much lumber I have, because I kind of have a good idea of how many bricks I got. Guess I'll start digging through this. Just sifted and sorted through it all. These are all 2x4s. Original 2" by 4" 2x4s. Look at these things. Solid. Out of a really old house. These are pretty decent still. These are all fairly termited, more or less. So maybe they're not really good enough. I don't have enough. If I had like, I don't know, 20 or 30 more of these here, they're actually freaking straight still. I can't believe it. They've been out here in the weather for like 2 or 3 years. And only one of them looked like it had some bow in it. But I don't have enough to really build anything out of them. Like a table or something. That was kind of my original intent with all this, and then time got away from me. But I think it'll make a pretty good border to hold in some mulch. So maybe I'll put down the most rotten stuff first, and just stack that on top, just for some extra weight, I guess. That's all it's going to do, is kind of help hold the edges of the fabric down. Everything has a use. Had an idea. Small garden, I'm gonna have to have something here to hold my fabric down and keep the tiller out of it. So I came up with, I'm gonna use this old rotten wood to put down first. I may just do one layer of this, and then once I get across it, and it's after I till and everything, I'll take straw, flakes of straw, and go over the top of that, kind of like a border that I can hit with my tiller and not hurt anything. Because that's kind of the dilemma, so to speak, right here. Gotta make a cut here. Voila! I think I solved my brick dilemma. Had an idea. I know I've got enough lumber to do the edges of what I'm wanting to do with the wood. And I do want to have a fire pit area. So, that's what I'm going to come up with here. Right here in the middle of this triangle area is where I'm going to probably put the fire pit. I've been kind of scratching my head how I'm going to do this and maybe not burn through the fabric. I've got that metal fire pit that I'm going to use for out here. I'm not just going to burn on the ground. So, since I've got these excess bricks, I don't have time to do it today, I don't think, but I'm going to do a circle with the bricks, fill it full of nice gravel, put the granite slabs on top of that, and then the metal fire pit. I think that'll work great. Some of you may be scratching your heads. Why am I doing this? I will tell you why. A, I like to garden. B, I'm tired of mowing in between my garden and all this stuff here. One way or the other, I'm going to blow grass seed either in my raised bed or in my big garden, and I don't like that at all. So I've been like going back and forth, blowing it either this way or that way, which helps a little bit, but you know how it is. The wind blows and it just goes everywhere. So I'm done with it. Using the bricks around the perimeter for sure, because A, I'm gonna have to weed eat it. If I hit it with a mower a little bit, it won't hurt it too bad. I can just stack them back up. But that's the main deal back here right now, the whole mowing situation. And I want to kill all this Bermuda if I can. I'm sick and tired of it creeping into my garden. I'm sure some of y'all out there have Bermuda growing around your garden, and it is a nightmare trying to keep it out. The hotter it gets, the faster it grows. So if I can cover all this up, make a bit of a yard feature out of it, I suppose. What's up, cockadoodle? Then that's what I'm going to do, and try to make it functional at the same time. If some of you guys were wondering what kinds of figs these are, all dried up. These are Cleveland Hardy figs, and they are delicious. I'm not a fig snob or nothing, but I can tell you this: any fig is a good fig. If it grows where you're at and it comes back every year, I would call that a win. In fact, let me show you. Show you something. See this right here? See where that's wrapped? That's part of the start that I made over a year ago. And look how big the base of it is now. Move the straw out of the way. You see it made a fork in the ground. I mean, this cutting right here was this big. It was a 1-inch cutting the whole way down in the ground. Now the main stalk is 2 inches wide, and it's got another one that's 1.5 inches wide coming off the side of it, and it's 6 feet tall. Just awesome. And they're so easy to make. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Lowe's or Home Depot, but their fig trees are 40 or 50 bucks most of the time for something that has any kind of size. Who can afford that? You know what I mean? I'm not a tightwad or nothing, but if I can propagate stuff, that's what I'm going to do. And this is the mother plant for that whole row. A year ago, I'd never done it before, and I wanted to propagate this tree because it's been so good to me. Whenever I bought this tree, it was like the size, gosh, you see this right here, this twig? It wasn't even this big. It was one of those fig trees that came in a plastic bag kind of a deal, and it was half that size whenever I planted it here. And now, let's see, it's been, gosh, it's probably a 12-year-old fig tree here. Oh my gosh, is this a... I'm gonna have to come back and see what this is that's growing, because there's a nut right there that it's growing out of, and I cannot tell what it is. It honestly almost looks like an avocado, but I highly doubt it. If it is an avocado, then holy cow, I'm onto something then. But I'll keep you guys updated with that if that's what that turns out to be. But you can see where I cut it. I kind of cut it sparingly this year, because last year I just pretty much trimmed the entire thing down to the ground to make my starts with. And long story short, it prolonged the mother tree from starting to grow this last spring and early summer. So we never really got any figs off of this because I set it back so much. But the trade-off was getting a 55 or 60 foot long row of fig trees for free, more or less, short of buying some potting soil. I bought some potting soil, some 1.5 gallon clear plastic pots so I could see the roots once they started rooting. And then that grafting tape that you put on the top of the cutting to keep the stem from drying out. And that was it. So I mean, I made like 80 or 90 starts out of this mother tree last year, so it was awesome. Like I said, I made some cuttings off of this year as well. I'm not too worried about this mother tree setting it back too much because I've got that whole row out there now to produce. And I do expect it to produce this year because they're so well established. Literally, from making a cutting off this mama tree, I think it was in early December, 2 winters ago, keeping them inside, growing them under grow lights at like room temperature, you know. Look at what they've done in a year. I mean, that's just fantastic. I know I'm rambling and whatnot about fig trees, guys, but gosh, it's just so being self-sustainable, so to speak, and learning how to propagate plants and such, and growing your own delicious food is just awesome to me. And if you've never eaten a fresh fig, Fig Newtons ain't nothing, boys and girls. I mean, I like Fig Newtons, but I'd rather eat the fig by itself. So good. Go buy yourself a good fig tree. Try it out. So I think this will be probably part 1 of 2 of putting this landscape fabric down. I've got a game plan for the fire pit now. And then, yeah, I know what I'm going to do with my lumber that I've been saving now. I think the fire pit's going to be a win. Just getting the gravel is going to be the expensive part, I suppose. Most places are pretty proud of that. I'll probably go to a landscaper and buy it from them instead of going and buying it from Lowe's or Home Depot or some big box store like that. So they charge an arm and a leg for a 50-pound bag of gravel. Anyways, I will catch you guys on the next one. I hope your bees are flying. I hope your garden's growing. And I hope you all are doing really well. See you guys. Turkey! Thomas! You not in a talking mood? Come on, Thomas. Tomas. Hola, Tomas. What's up, Red? Red girl. You camera shy? Noodle noggin? You don't even... Oh, no, you're gonna look over here? Okay. Grow your feathers back, you look awful. One more thing I want to show you before part 2. This lumber that I was telling you about. So old it has square nails in it. I don't know about y'all, but they don't sell square nails at the store anymore. Then all these boards, I'm just cleaning them up with my hammer here before I put them down on that fabric. Only got a couple more minutes of work left to do. Here's a bigger one. That's a good one there. I guess that would be the equivalent of a 16-penny nail 120 or 30 years ago. Anyways, catch you all on the flippity flip.